The population's immunity to SARS-CoV-2 achieved either through infection or vaccination is crucial to overcome the COVID-19 pandemic. A team of researchers led by the University of Zurich, that's UZH, has now discovered another component that contributes to SARS-CoV-2 immunity: previous antibody responses to other harmless coronaviruses. People who have had strong immune responses to other human coronaviruses also have some protection against SARS-CoV-2 infection, says Alexandra Trocola, head of the Institute of Medical Virology at UZH. In their study, the researchers used a specifically developed assay to analyze antibody levels against 4 other human coronaviruses in 825 serum samples taken before SARS-CoV-2 emerged. They also examined 389 samples from donors infected with SARS-CoV-2. Combining these analyses with computer-based models enabled the team to precisely predict how well the antibodies would bind to and neutralize invading viruses. Cross-reactivity reduces severity of infection. The researchers were able to demonstrate that people who caught SARS-CoV-2 had lower levels of antibodies against coronaviruses that cause common colds compared to uninfected people. It's pretty interesting. So if you get SARS-CoV-2, you're going to have lower antibodies against the common cold coronaviruses. But if you're uninfected by the SARS-CoV-2, it seems like you'd have a better chance of fighting the coronavirus that causes the common cold. Nonetheless, in addition, people with high levels of antibodies against harmless coronaviruses were less likely to have been hospitalized after catching SARS-CoV-2. The very point of the article. Our study shows that a strong antibody response to human coronavirus increases the levels of antibodies against SARS-CoV-2. So, someone who has gained immunity to harmless coronavirus is therefore also better protected against severe SARS-CoV-2 infections, says Trocola. This type of immune response is referred to as cross-reactivity, and it also occurs with T-cell responses, the additional line of the immune system in the defense against infections. Towards comprehensive protection against coronaviruses, it is not yet known whether the cross-reactivity also works in the opposite direction, whether immunity to SARS-CoV-2 achieved through vaccination, for example, also offers protection against other human coronaviruses still needs to be elucidated. If SARS-CoV-2 immunity also offers some degree of protection from infection with other coronaviruses, we would be a significant step closer to achieving comprehensive protection against other coronaviruses, including any new variants, the virologist explains. The idea is also supported by the fact that cross-reactive protection is not only based on antibodies, but very likely also on T cells. Now, this publication is pretty interesting for several reasons. These arguments are actually the arguments that have been stated in recent weeks by some leading CDC and/or talking heads. So we're going to see what happens, I guess. But nonetheless, I'd like to reiterate that this article came out on November 23rd. The Desert picked it up on the 27th. And the research was done, who knows, maybe a week prior to that. And all of this was 2 or more weeks before they went public, which was on December 1st, about the Omicron being in United States. Another thing important to note that SARS-CoV-2 or COVID-19 is not this coronavirus. It's not this harmless coronavirus. It looks like SARS-CoV-2 or COVID-19 has a strong affinity to mutate, and obviously we have not seen that mutation occur by itself with the harmless coronavirus because it just didn't. It's the one that came out of Wuhan that actually caused all the problems, and it had this strong ability to mutate and caused all these problems that are occurring now. So I'd like to kind of make note on that.